Oh, right.
Well, let's just do this. You all know Bob. He is the fiber of the Westport Astronomical Society, the Metamucil that holds it all together.
That's not the greatest reference.
Well, you know, cohesiveness. He keeps us cohesive. He keeps me in line. He always tells me what when I'm out there just like saying nonsense, he goes, no. Please welcome back Bob Meadows.
This year, Stellafane was just started last Thursday and went to Sunday, August 13th to the 16th in Springfield, Vermont. And this is a convention of amateur astronomers and telescope makers, and it's been going on. This is the 80th Stellafane. Now I went to Lake George in Silver Bay, New York for a week prior to Stellafane. So I spent a week there, and then I drove from Lake George to Springfield. And on the way over, I saw there were quite a few clouds, and there were a couple of showers on the way. It's a little over 100 miles. By combining the two vacations, I saved some driving. It's from here to Stellafane, it's about 200 miles. And we went there on Thursday. They used to start on Friday, but now you can get in on Thursday. It gives you one extra night of observing. And we set up our canopy, and that's the Waz gas grill. And we were a little late getting around, so our dinner ran in. Well, here's the, I have some shots of the observing field before it got dark. This is looking south on the observing field, and our 25-inch telescope is right there. You can see the cursor on our ladder. And there were several other large telescopes. This one on the left, the red one, is a 28-inch telescope.
Is that a homemade or?
It's homemade. It was entered in the competition probably 15 years ago. It's been around for a long time. One that's usually there is John Voigt. He has a 32-inch telescope, and he was not there this year. So that's unusual. He's from Long Island. And this is showing some refractors. And this is looking up toward the top of the hill, and that's the McGregor Observatory, which houses a Schumann telescope. This roof, the roof of the front half of the building rolls back. This door on the front opens, and then the whole front of the roof slides back. There's a telescope in there.
I've never looked through it. Is anyone looked through it?
I never looked through it. No, it's been finished like 10 years ago. I'm always busy.
It's an F10. I thought it was a higher. I went up there and was playing around. It's just an F10, but it's a completely beautiful, unobstructed view.
Yeah, it's the design. It's an unusual design. It's unobstructed, and it uses a combination of mirrors and lenses to correct for color correction. There's a mirror and a lens made of this exact same glass. The mirror is silvered on the back, so the light passes through the glass in the mirror, and somehow it completely cancels out the color effects. So they're fully corrected. And the other thing it can do is, if you're looking at a planet near the horizon, you always get these color fringes. It'll be red on one edge and blue on the other edge. And with this telescope, you can tilt one of the elements, and it removes that effect. And this is back at our canopy. We cooked dinner, but we had problems with the grill. It wasn't producing enough heat until then. I had to take the hose off and clean it out, and it worked.
What happened to Nate's face?
It's the shadow.
The shadow from the cave.
Yeah, there's a lantern over on the right, and I guess the something casts a shadow on his face. Didn't notice that.
Blocking.
Yeah, there's always some sort of an occultation with Todd's.
Looks like the guy from Star Trek.
Thursday night was really beautiful. It was completely clear and a great viewing. I didn't mention it earlier because I wanted to save it for now. I was able to find 3 comets. There was Lovejoy, which is about 10th magnitude, Jock, which is 11th magnitude.
We saw a tail on John's.
Yeah, we saw a big tail on Jock. And then Howell is a very dim, it's supposed to be 12th magnitude, but it looks like it's dimmer than that, which is, I knew that, I had a finder chart, so I knew exactly where it was, and then with short division, popping it out. And we saw a lot of other stuff. We found Pluto, and the planets Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Cat's Eye Nebula, the Bug Nebula is a small planetary, and Scorpius, and 891 is an Neutron galaxy, which is really nice. Okay, this is the next morning. And there's the blue canopy makes everybody's face look blue, especially because the camera adjusts for
Trying to suck it in.
Everybody's sucking their guts in. It's like I don't even have a neck.
It's like, how dare you take my
There's Fred Bump, who was the founder of our club, and Nate Nelson.
He's a nice kid.
Yeah. And this is Carl with his telescope that he's going to use for the 2017 solar eclipse. He's got the solar filter on it and that's set up.
That's the one that shot the moon earlier from the southern space.
Oh. What, is that a 5-inch?
Yeah, it's 127 952 millimeter focal length with a field flattener and a full frame camera. It's the perfect size for an eclipse.
It's a killer scope.
Yeah, triplet objective.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Optimum eclipse telescope.
It is. It's perfect for it. Size focal length.
And Saturday morning, starting at 7 a.m., they have swap tables where people can buy and sell anything to do with astronomy, but no commercial sales.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm jumping ahead. This is Friday. I was on the wrong day. This is Friday. We went down to Brattleboro on Friday. There's not much going on. And as we went through Springfield, this is a stone church that used to be used as a landmark when they used to give directions in the program. And also, the people in this church used to do the Saturday night barbecue chicken dinner. And a few years ago, they stopped doing that, and the caterer was doing it. And then we had, this year, there was no chicken dinner. So,
What did they start with?
I don't know.
I just had lunch.
I think
My steak dinner was a lot better than that chicken dinner was.
so. This is in Brattleboro, which is I think it's about 30 miles south, 30 or 40 miles south of Springfield. Brattleboro. This is Michael and Dan crossing the street here. And we just did a little shopping. This is Sam's, which is an outdoor outfitter that has all kinds of camping.
That's your store, man.
That's a pretty good store.
Yeah.
Sam's Army and Navy.
No, this. I don't think so.
It used to be an Army and Navy store.
Oh.
I got boots there.
They have a lot of clothing. There's a big section that's all kinds of fishing and hunting and camping gear. And we met at this little park before we went for lunch at a Thai restaurant. And this is back. Now this is Friday, and you can see all the telescopes are covered, including ours. It has a tarp on it. This is a chance of rain, and it wasn't supposed to clear up until around midnight. And we have grilled asparagus and salmon steaks. That was the best meal of the weekend. And there's a picture of me. I'm usually taking the pictures of my dad took a picture of me, and I was rather good.
Yeah, there's a little grabbing going on there.
Friday night they have what they used to call tent talks. Now they have this big pavilion building in place of the tent. But what it is anybody that wants to can give a 10-minute talk on any topic having to do with astronomy. And sometimes they get 20 or more people doing it, so it takes hours and hours. This year there were only 8 people that gave talks. And this is Ben Nelson, which is one of Todd's sons. And he gave a talk called A Serious Discussion About Aliens. He talked about where they might be and what is the possibility of life.
He didn't like my question.
No.
Yeah, Dan was harassing him.
Not really, I just,
All right, what was the question?
yeah, I wanted to know, no, I don't know if I want to say anymore, but I mouthed to him, I said, talk about probing. And he just melted. It was not. So the serious part was out the door.
And this is one of the other talks. This was about when you grind your own mirror, one of the worst things you can do is when you're converting it from a sphere to a parabola, if you, I guess, put too much pressure on the edge, you get a turned down edge. Once you get that, the only way to fix it is to grind down the whole rest of the mirror, which is a lot of work. So this is talking about using what size tool you use to reduce the risk.
It sounds like a boring topic, but it was really interesting. These kids were, they were like 16 and 17, and they had they figured out how to fix this and make it work right.
And this was on this was a talk on a software program. That's a free program, XFM. Oh, this woman is from the Washington, D.C. She runs the public observatory beside the Air and Space Museum. And that's open almost every night of the year. Christmas.
Our friend Cal was covering for her while she was at Stellafane. So Cal, when she's not there, runs that observatory at the Air and Space Museum.
And instead of giving a talk, she was asking audience members who run public observatories to tell about odd experiences they've had on public nights. I've had a lot of odd experiences, but I didn't talk. You got about 4 or 5 people to give little stories. One guy.
Experience with aliens?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Aliens?
Don't mention that, no. One guy during a blackout, he took the telescope outside and 300 people looked through this telescope to Mars. And this was a talk about the Galileo telescope. In 2009, when it was the 400th anniversary of Galileo, they built these telescopes similar to what Galileo had. And it had some improvements, of course, for an inch and a quarter focuser, and came with a couple of eyepieces, and very inexpensive. I think it was $20 or $30. And they made, so far they've made 225,000 of these telescopes distributed into schools, a lot of them in foreign countries. Then, well, Friday night, the sky was sort of patchy, so sometimes like a big area would be clear and beautiful looking, and then maybe 10 minutes later it would cloud over. Another area might be clear, or it's full sky might cloud over. So we didn't uncover the 25. Michael had his 8-inch operating. We did a few things to do that. This is Saturday morning, and from this point, our canopy is on my left, and this is Franco Fella's tent and Dan Wright's tent, and that's the Gregor Observatory, the top of the observatory.
I wasn't sucking in my gut. You didn't give me notice.
A canopy shot, yeah.
Right.
And here everything's blue again. This is Nate and Franco and Michael. And this is the swap table. This is Saturday morning. They start at 7 o'clock, but I don't get up that early when I went up till 2 in the morning. And then we had to make breakfast. I think it was about 9 or 9:30 when I got there. So a lot of people have come and gone. I think Martin was there early and so on.
I think that may be my hatch there on the right.
Oh,
In fact, that's me.
oh,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, on the far right, yeah, I
They're
see.
far right by the white post.
Yeah, he's, yep, keep going, keep
Oh,
going,
there?
right
I
there.
think that may be me.
That
oh,
looks like you.
this hatch.
Yeah, that
Oh, I was
hatch.
looking at,
Yeah.
I was looking at this hatch. Okay, that's you, okay.
Maybe.
So I must have just missed you.
Well, that's right, I didn't have anything good anyway.
And this is Phil Harrington, or friend.
Did he ever sell any of them?
I don't know.
He got about halfway through. He got one of those two, he cleaned out one of those two cases.
Oh. So one book he was selling was a book by Covington. It used to be like a standard reference, but that was for film photography. None of this book. It's a really good book, but it's also good. And here are a few telescopes, tripods, spears.
Lots of tripods.
Yeah. This is a 20-inch session, which was for sale for $47.50. It had some accessories included with it. It had encoders and a few other things. This is I believe this is a periscope for a tank. It's a solid piece of glass we look through and try to reflect the surfaces. And that was for sale for $15. This table was all kinds of glass prisms and beam splitters and mirrors. They would sort of sparkled in the sunlight, particularly didn't capture it too much. These are mainly like defects and rejects that were probably very expensive, but they were perfect. We had some beam splitters for $5. And meteorites. This is an 8-inch Orion, $300, and this one is a Astrotech F4, I think it's for photography. And this is a guy I know from the New Haven Club, I don't know his name. He was selling photographs. He had photographs taken with a 400mm telephoto lens, and peregrine falcons, and some concert pictures. Not too closely related to astronomy. Okay. And this is approaching Breezy Hill, where they have the telescope competition. That's the turret telescope, which was built in the early 30s. It's a telescope where you can actually, you're inside the building, and the telescope's on the outside. Okay, this is a 10-inch F6 Dobsonian, and this won the third place for craftsmanship. They have several categories for the awards. There's mechanical design, craftsmanship. There's a special award, which is if you made something other than a telescope. And then they have there's an innovative component. That's usually just have one award for that, with some one aspect of the.
This is a beautiful telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's also a junior category.
The wood pivot spots were like split of Jupiter, so it looked like.
Yeah. On the bearing here, he made a wooden sphere that looks like Jupiter with the bands and the red spot, with half of it on each side of the bearing.
Oh, that's good.
Probably didn't win first.
Yeah, me too. It's innovative.
And this is a 10-inch Dobsonian. It has these holes in the back. I think they're for pulling the mirror, and he's got this strap of elastic cloth that can use to cover the holes. I notice to block light or to keep dust down. This is a binocular mount, and this won second place in the special category, something other than a telescope. This is a parallelogram mount, which this can move up and down, and there's a counterweight, and so you can look straight up without the tripod being in your way, and you can move it up and down with someone of a different height wants to look through it. And at these pivot points, we had Teflon washers, moved smoothly. On the left here, there's a telescope covered with a tan cover. And I think that's Len Jackson's telescope. He used to be a member here, and now I'm not sure he lives in Vermont or New Hampshire. And at the awards, they announced his name, and he had won 2 prizes. And I had not photographed his telescope. I didn't see it. There were quite a few telescopes that were covered up. When I assumed they were all people who were just observing on this field and not in competition. So I don't know if we got there late or what, but pretty sure that's the telescope. There's another view. You can see that the pivot for the binoculars is offset from the mount, so that you don't need a counterweight. It's centered on the background. You can
Pretty
see
nicely built.
Todd and Dan are up here. That might be Michael.
Yeah, we're finding some shade, it was warm.
You know, didn't know they were there. So this is a 13-inch Dobsonian, sort of crudely built with a lot of accessories. I believe this guy made his own electronic setting circuits. So there's a box here. Right on it. This girl is from, she was a student at Auburn in Atlanta, and she was part of a group of 6 students that for their senior project designed and built a German equatorial telescope mount with GoTo. And they won an honorable mention for mechanical design.
She just graduated as a mechanical engineer.
Yeah, and she got a job in Florida. I think she's originally from New Hampshire. And you can see the motor and gears drive a shaft here, and then there's gear teeth around the circle. And then there's the same thing up here with the gear going around here. So this is the right ascension drive, and this is the declination drive.
It's a worm in the middle?
Yeah, there's a worm here in the middle here that turns this larger gear. And they made this hand controller, and it had GoTo capability. I think she said it had like 30 M objects programmed into it. And they didn't have the telescope mounted on it. You can see this black tube is the telescope, and there's a metal rod with a weight on it. That rod would go in here as a counterweight, and then the telescope would be up here on this dovetail. But there was some part that got the frame or missing, so they couldn't reassemble it. This guy last year entered this binocular telescope, which is 250 millimeters, it's about 10 inches diameter on each one, and they're F5 binoculars. And last year they won 2nd place for mechanical design and 3rd place for craftsmanship. And this year he made this yellow telescope, which is an 8-inch F9 Dobsonian. F9 is a very long focal length. So that's good for planets, and it gives you a very small secondary mirror. Here on the binoculars, you can see where the eyepieces are down at the bottom. So you're looking into two telescopes, one with each eye. And it had a clever mechanism to keep them, to align them to each other. One of them would move up and down, and the other would move up and right to align them.
He was complaining that nobody wanted to know about his new scope, everyone wanted to talk about
Right.
last year's scope.
Right.
We talked, Michael and I were talking a lot about that, too. I think Michael said it well when he was looking at it. He goes, the simplicity of it, he made it so that it's just so looks so simple, but it's not. It is anything but simple.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, like a binocular?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a pulley here that turns a wheel. And another pulley down here that turns this wheel.
And that's his first scope he's ever made.
Right.
And he just jumped in the deep end and he got it all right. It's just, I was standing next to it like that for about an hour. I just
Oh, that's you right there. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
And all I could think about is how to make it even more complicated. Because I wanted to sit it on something so that you put like a wheel in the ground so you could turn it, right, so that you could be sitting in a chair and then it would spin this, table that you're sitting on. That was what I was thinking. Then I thought, well, how do you view what's behind you? And then you needed to come up with a tablet that would show you, instead of looking down, which is you'd be looking at Australia, that would show you the sky behind you, so you could zoom it in. So I was making it infinitely much more complicated than everything to be.
one problem is when you're looking straight up, you've got to have it low enough that you can look down into it. And then when you look at something near the horizon, you got to get down on the ground on your elbows practically. The back of it, and there's the bearing. Well, maybe, but not as exciting as the front. This is a 6-inch F-15 Newtonian. This has something called a light can. On the side here, it looks like a vegetable can or something sticking out, and it's directly opposite the eyepiece, and that's to make it completely dark opposite the eyepiece so that no light will come around the secondary mirror and into the eyepiece. So I'm not sure exactly what they do inside. They just make it black, or they have some batteries or what.
An interesting idea.
This is the front of it. You can see there's a glass disc here holding the secondary mirror. This is called a gravity drive, and this guy was talking. I listened to him for like 5 minutes.
You said,
No,
shut up.
I still don't understand how this works. There are 2 discs here, and everything's welded. It's got a very sturdy welded support holding this. Because these are 2 25-pound barbell weights, and then the fork is also welded to it. And here you can see the printing. It's a 25-pound barbell weight. And then this is a welding magnet. It weighs about a pound. It puts that on the top disc. And the weight of that causes this top disc to turn at approximately the sidereal rate. So it's like a clock.
So you can go up to it. He kept having me go, put your hands on the base of the fork and give it all you got and try and turn this thing. So, you could move it, but it really took a lot of force. So I'm not sure.
So he's got really precise bearings. We kept talking about that. And I think that these surfaces are really flat, and maybe he's got oil there, maybe the fluid
Grease or
slows
something.
it down.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's what keeps it from just dropping.
But listening to him talk, you just wanted to run away. So,
Yeah, he kept going on and all these tangents, and
shut up, tell me how it works.
I'll not speak ill of him. He bought my
He-
objective lens from swap thing.
Oh, yeah.
oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, he was the guy?
Or his
He
next
I bought my
project.
big one. Yeah, bought the big one. So, or like, sorry.
That was interesting.
Your friend.
It is another odd. This one honorable mention in the special category. And the idea of this is that, a sundial has you get a shadow from the position of the sun. He's trying to see the shadow of Jupiter. So at night, Jupiter shines light on this and casts a shadow, and he's got a camera above it, photograph it, and your eye can't see the shadow, but the camera is sensitive enough to see the shadow of Jupiter. And this large box, I think that fits over top of the whole thing, so that you block out all the light except from the area where you're interested in. It's an interesting idea and sort of an educational thing, but
He had some actual pictures of it. That's one of them down there in the.
oh,
That one, yeah. See that vague
Yeah.
shadow right where, yeah.
Yeah, there's two shadows almost.
Why?
Yeah, there are easier ways to measure the altitude and azimuth of the planet, right?
Just to prove you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less that was it, that's what you
Yeah,
said.
I guess it is. I'm sure you can do it. Running magazine.
He was interesting time. He wasn't a, propeller head.
Okay, in the junior category, this guy won the junior award. I think he was the only entry in the junior category. I think it was age 15 and under, something like that. And this is a 4 1/4 inch Dobsonian.
I love talking to this kid. He was so interesting. He really knew what he knew everything about this thing. Just gush.
This is a 6-inch Dobsonian. I believe he grabbed his own mirror. And on the side, there's a channel. And this is made so that the head of a bolt can slide back and forth from that channel. And then this knob is like a nut that tightens on the bolt. And if you loosen that, you can slide the telescope back and forth to adjust the balance and then retighten it. Okay, this is the TARDIS, which is sort of inspired by the the spacecraft on Doctor Who. This is hexagonal and not square. It's a 10-inch f/4.7. Won second place in mechanical design, honorable mention in craftsmanship, and the Innovative Component Award for magnetic counterweights. I didn't get a picture of the magnetic counterweights. They, on each of these edges, there are 4 magnets, 4 hinges, and the counterweight attaches to the hinge with a magnet, and then it's got a bar on it that also is held by a magnet. And you can slide the bar up and down, and there's different sizes of bars. So to balance the telescope, you can use these magnetic weights.
Very, very innovative.
And you can see it's all lightweight, it's all open frames.
That all folds up together.
Yeah, I've got more pictures of it here. Yeah, so on the top there are these latches. You see these 4 latches along the top edge, and you open those up and it hinges, and then it has these hexagonal pieces inside, so that gives it its shape and its stiffness. And there are 4 of these, and they fit in these grooves. It makes it all very sturdy. Here you can see the one in the back with the mirror inside it and the mirror cell. And this is the tow rad. He has a base on the tow rad that's got magnets on it. And on here there are 4 washers attached, and the magnets attached to those washers. So you just set it on and it's perfectly aligned. And this is a laser pointer that can be used for finding objects. And it sits on this mount. And at the front, it's not completely round. On the bottom, there's a point, so it'll have the right orientation. If your laser isn't perfectly aligned with the tube. With the tube, it doesn't matter because you'll always put it on the same orientation.
You can take it off and then put it back on.
Yeah. Here he is disassembling it, and the sides of the bottom box are like 3 hinged pieces. And then this piece lifts off the bottom because there are little wheels here that form the bearing for rotating. And even this little triangular base, each of the legs can fold in. And the idea is that the whole thing, the tube, will convert from a hexagon to a rectangle. So it'll be 2 panels on the bottom, 2 on the top, and 1 on each side. And then all these components fit inside that box. The mirror and the base and everything fits inside the box. Okay, this is a Shootman, which is similar to the one that's in the Rolnick Observatory. It's a 6-inch. They said it was a club project, and some of the guys working on it were members of the Springfield Telescope Makers, which is the people that run the Stellafane. They were trying to find Venus, which was extremely close to the sun. They were having trouble finding it when I was there. And the tube on this, it looks like it's made out of painted metal, but it's actually aircraft plywood. It's finished very smoothly. This was a restoration. It was a 6-inch Thacker Maksutov telescope, and it was made in 1958. They only made it for 1 year, and this was serial number 33 out of 50. And back,
It was a great scope in its day.
yeah, 11 or 12 years ago, we had one that, I don't know if it was this model, but it was very similar to that. It was donated to us, and we sold it. I was trying to find some pictures of that, see if maybe it's the same telescope. Someone bought it from us and restored it.
That would be real iron.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if ours was a 6-inch. I know it was this style. You can see the front of it. There's a corrector plate, so that's a lens, and then there's a silver spot in the center, so the light goes through the corrector plate, hits the mirror, comes back to the silver spot. And normally the eyepiece would be way at the bottom of the tube. Instead, they have a diagonal that brings it up to the side like that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like in the middle of the tube, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not up at one end.
yeah. See, it's here near the pivot. It's closer to the back than the front. And that won the award for active restoration, which I believe was the only restoration.
That's not a lot.
Okay, they always have some novelty telescope. This is made out of a coffee can and a Coke can, and they call it caffeine double shot.
Did Riff make that? Is that one of Riff's? 'Cause he always makes the weirdest.
Yeah, I think so.
Telescope every
Someone
year.
was talking about it.
He did the Lego telescope. He
He
did
did the name on it. Yeah. I
water.
think that's like a $300
Right.
processor on your coffee can. So.
Yeah, and there's Dan's telescope in the background.
Oh, that's got
Quite
Yeah,
star,
nice.
My future scope. I want one so bad.
No, it's a 3.5-inch f3 refractor, so it's only about 11-inch focal length. So from the lens back to the eyepiece is only 11 inches. It looks odd from the front. It's got this hole with a plug in it. And the note said something about it being a hole for a laser. I'm not sure what that means. So there's a lens here going back to the diagonal.
What is it, a Maksutov?
No, it just said refractor. Yeah, it looks like a Maksutov. It's a mass frame.
I wonder what that thing is for.
Yeah, I was wondering. And this is a 4.25-inch 10 Dobsonian. 1980. This is a refractor, 4.5-inch refractor. It's not clear, it wasn't clear to me which parts were made, if they just bought the lens and the tube and assembled it, or if they made the lens. Oh, this is a 3D printer, and they were powering it from a battery, and it was actually printing while it was there. And this is an optical bench. It's a piece of aluminum angle, and all these yellow pieces are pieces that were printed with the 3D printer. So they can make custom brackets to hold lenses, or prisms, whatever they're using. And also they make the legs using that. And this, I'm not sure of this. I think this may have won something. Yeah, this one, third place in the special category. And this one won first place in the special category. This is an optical bench. It's a Foucault, it's a Raunchy Foucault tester. The Raunchy is a piece of glass with very precise lines drawn on it. And the light illuminates that, and then it's reflected through from the mirror back to a camera that's here, a digital camera. And then it's displayed on a computer. And it's got 3 different color LEDs, so you can test lenses from an antique telescope and see how well it's corrected for each of the colors. And this shows the computer. This shot was from Phil Harrington, and it was hard to see it in the sunlight, but you can see the mirror is here, and you can see these lines on it that indicate.
And he's got a turn down edge.
It looks like a
Kids
turn
were
down
talking
edge.
about.
Yeah. I think they did that on purpose just to show a more interesting picture. So on a perfect one, it would be all straight lines.
Yeah.
And this, they took photographs. This is I'm reflected in the glass. I couldn't avoid the reflection. This is the Bubble Nebula, and this is the Ring Nebula. And then these are paintings that were made based on photographs of the Bubble Nebula and the Ring Nebula.
It's fun to say bubble nebula, bubble nebula, bubble nebula, bubble nebula.
Yeah. This is a small Dobsonian telescope, 6-inch. Now there were 2 telescopes in the back of the clubhouse. A lot of people missed. This is an 8-inch. And this has 3 aluminum poles holding the top to the bottom section. And this bottom section, this black tube was actually made with a 3D printer. We made segments and glued them together to make rings and stacked up 3 rings. Also, these holders for the counterweights were made with a 3D printer. We also made the focuser. And there are 3 poles, but there are also 2 wooden rods. And the main reason for that is we put a shroud around it, and you only have 3 poles, and the shroud gets into the light path. So by putting 2 more wooden rods, it holds the shroud better. And this one, a lot of people missed it. This one, first place in mechanical design, and first place in craftsmanship. It's an 18-inch f3.8, which is a really fast scope in the historic length. It's got these handles, loaded metal, and they can slide out. Here you've got one handle out, coming out. It's got encoders with the Argo Navis on the back. I think this is for the dew heaters. And it looks like the wires attached to the poles, so that the power comes up through the metal poles. He made his own focuser. And there's a lever here. If you lift this lever, it moves the shaft away from the focuser, so you can take the whole tube out. I had a second tube that had a built-in chroma corrector, so you could switch chroma corrector in and out. And the top, these are actually 7/8 inch outside diameter aluminum tubes. And then he's got a block on the end that it's inserted into a hole in the block. Fasten the block tight.
Really?
Yeah, that's exactly.
A lot of good stuff.
The way it works on our obsession, it's a drag. That's clever.
And this is Glenn Jackson. He won 3rd place for mechanical and 2nd for craftsmanship. This is the actual from the slideshow where they announced the winners. He used to be a member here, and he's a key holder. It's a 14-inch, 425 Smithsonian. So I don't know too much about it other than that. This is the next observatory they're building, which is going to be a solar spectroscope. It's a telescope for looking at the sun, and it uses a diffraction grating to separate the colors, and it looks at one slit of the sun and then scans across the sun, and it's only allowing, it splits the colors and it only lets through a small part of the spectrum. So it's been used for hydrogen alpha, but it's also been used for other wavelengths. It was designed by Hale, who designed the 200-inch observatory.
You know, I've always thought that with modern computerization, controlling the rotation of the element, that would be a fantastic instrument today to do. Because you would be able to very specifically specify which wavelength you want to look at.
Yeah.
Well, they're building according to the Hale design. That's what's going to go
Yeah.
on there.
So they expect to have it done next year.
Next year.
There'll be some big lines for that.
Okay, then Saturday afternoon they have technical talks, and they had 4 one-hour talks. This was on science with your DSLR camera, and it was presented by Arn Linden, who was a past director of the AAVSO, that's the American Association of Variable Star Observers. And we talked about using a camera to measure brightnesses of stars and submit that to AAVSO. Software, it's a relatively inexpensive camera, and then there's software that can analyze pictures and calculate the brightnesses and colors. One advantage of a color camera is you can sample at the same time all the colors, where if you use filters, it's separated. And this is during his talk, and this was probably the best attended of the 4 lectures. And this is the talk on the Hale style spectral helioscope that's out there. I just saved from the beginning of this, I can see the whole thing. And this was a talk on asteroid light curves, where you measure the brightness of the asteroid as it changes, usually due to an asteroid rotating something. Try to determine the period, and sometimes you can determine the information about the shape of the asteroid. Okay, this is the from near where the talks were given, looking up toward the observing field, and this is the food tent, which they had a different vendor this year, and people complained. People complained the prices were high. And of course, they canceled the chicken dinner. So hopefully they'll do it better next year. And we got tired of photographing telescopes, so we'll go.
Bingo.
Yeah. He's been there the last couple of years. And we had steaks for dinner. No,
Goat steak.
Goat meat, yeah, goat steak.
Where's that measurement?
Okay, well, there have been storms around us all day, and they were missing us. They went south of us and north of us. Some of the guys went into Springfield, and they got the downpour there. and, but it missed our area. But just before the Saturday night presentation, there was a shower. So they normally held it outside on a hillside, and they held it inside instead of this building, and it was packed. This is looking forward from where I was sitting, and this is looking back at the back. Actually, that's Todd there.
Oh,
Dan. And well, they do they have a kids raffle, then they have an adult raffle, then they have they announce all the awards, the winners of all the competitions, and then they have a speaker for about 20 minutes that's called the Shadow Brand, which is originally used to kill time till it got dark enough for the slides, which you don't really need now, to do slides before. Anyway, the main speaker was Alan Stern, principal investigator of New Horizons, which was just past Pluto, and he was really good. This is the slide. Pluto did it, and afterwards he was answering questions. Someone asked him about Europa, and it turns out he's going to be, his next job is to work on a mission that's going to Europa. And
What's the mission?
I'm not sure, I don't know if I got the name of it.
Carolyn Porco has been adamant that skipping Europa and going right to Enceladus, because Enceladus is squirting water out into space right now, and you can just fly through it and sample and see if there's any organics in it. Yet on Europa, it's all way underground and frozen, or way under the ice.
You're 30 kilometers thick ice.
I think a lot harder to
Something
get
like that, yeah.
find out what's on the Europa than Enceladus. And then flying through the sprays of Enceladus, you can prove that there's life right there. You can prove it.
Very light, there's
Yeah.
one story he told, on the spacecraft they have two optical gyros, and they're sealed units, and they have a gas inside them, and they got them from the manufacturer, and when he tested them, they were leaky. And so I think they got replacements, and they were leaky, and they were getting close to their deadline. So there was another project that used the same gyros, and that was the stereo, which is two spacecraft photographing the sun. And so they got the gyros from stereo and used those on New Horizons, and they worked perfectly. But on stereo, the ones they eventually got and launched, they failed after 3 years. Both of them failed after 3 years. So they were lucky. This was taken by Phil Harrington, and this was Saturday night when it had to be when it was
Right outside of our canopy. So he just pointed it straight up. So
Oh, really?
gas is right on this. 5 feet away from where our canopy is.
So a lot of his pictures were taken on Breezy Hill. So
Yeah, this is not. This is.
Oh, okay. This is Vega, constellation Lyra, and this is constellation Delphinus, and this is Altair.
Where's the little horse?
Right down there on the side of the street. Yeah, over there.
Yeah, there's the L.
That's
Is that
it.
it? Cool.
That's it. Yeah.
You see the dumbbell?
Smarty dance money.
I wouldn't have known that. And it was very foggy, and cars were leaving. When they were leaving, they had to use their headlights. So the first half hour, cars left. They were lighting up.
I walked over and got these guys with a bright flashlight, and I shined my red light on the McGregor. So I go, Phil, get this shot. That should be pretty cool. So there you can see the sky. You can see the fog below. So that's the Big Dipper there, I think. The handle of the Big Dipper. Maybe. I don't know. But lighting up the McGregor like that, really cool.
Is it LED flashlight?
Mine was an LED. I don't know what
like
light.
that.
Blue, purplish, yeah.
Those are the lights at the chicken scene, right?
No, those are headlights. Yeah.
Yeah, this light is good.
That's a
All
neat
around.
picture.
I think that's pretty cool.
And coming up next month is the Black Horse Star Party in Pennsylvania, and that, I think there are 4 of us going to that, and it's already sold out. Connecticut Star Party was moved to Goshen this year, and it's in October. It might be a little cold, but it's survivable, I guess. And it's supposed to be a little darker than their regular site. And then next year, it's August 4th through the 7th for Stellafane. Okay, that's it.
Bob Meadows!
The lady was talking about the interesting stories at public nights, and you said that you didn't relay any. I'm interested to hear a couple of memorable public nights.
Well, one time there was a power failure, and we decided to open up even though we had no electricity, and we put candles on the stairway, and we were running the 12-inch without power. I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that today, but the thing was, before it got completely dark, places started to get the power back. But I would have to, if somebody wanted to go, well, the candles in the stairway, some of them were blowing out. They weren't staying lit. So I would have to use my flashlight. If someone didn't have a flashlight, I'd use my flashlight to escort them down the steps so we can get out of the building.
My favorite public night story up here was somebody called up one